Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call the regular meeting of the Planning Commission to order. Today is Thursday, June 23rd, 2016. The time is 7:05 p.m. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Corsack? Present. Commissioner Vanetta?
Here.
Commissioner Baker?
Here.
Commissioner Barnes?
Here.
Commissioner Vice Chair Sims?
Here.
Chair Lowell.
I am also here.
And then we have sitting in for Commissioner Ramirez, who's excused absence, Commissioner Nickel.
Present.
And Erlen Gonzalez is also here.
And Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Corsack, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Our hand over our hearts.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Could we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So approved, so moved.
No,
Yeah.
second.
Motion by Commissioner Vanetta, a second by Commissioner Baker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 7-0. Tonight's agenda is approved. We have a consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar considered to be routine and will be enacted in one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the Planning Commission request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. I do not believe we have any consent calendar items tonight. So that moves us on to the approval of minutes from the Planning Commission regular meeting, May 26, 2016, 7 p.m. I do believe we have somebody that wanted to have a question about the minutes.
Yes, why, I think they're very much improved from the last time. There's just two things. One is very minor. On page 12, line 31, there's an extra E on the end of Tom Gerald's name. It's not Tomei Gerald, it's Tom. It's spelled correctly in the rest. But most important...
Which page 12? Packet 12 or minute 12?
Packet page 12,
There we go.
line 31.
That's not. I'm one page over.
I noticed they did learn how to spell I and nay.
They
though.
did. They're much improved.
Actually, according to Tom Gerald's own email, Jerele, it's correct.
No, it's T-O-M, Tom.
Oh, Tom, sorry.
Not T-O-M-E.
Tomei or Tommy or, you know.
Little
it's-
accents.
Little accent. But probably the most important is on packet page 7, lines 18, 27, 32, and 37. Those comments are attributed to myself, and I don't know anything about Sage College or any of this discussion. I believe that came from someone else on the Planning Commission, but it is attributed to me for some reason. Melly, was that you?
No, I didn't
Who
say
brought up the
anything about
discussion
Sage.
about Jeffrey? Was it you, Lori?
Which line?
Right here.
Oh, yeah, that was me. She's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, so then lines 18, 27, 32, and 37 would be attributed to Lori. And that's it for me.
Perfect. Any other questions or corrections before we move from motion to approve? Nope.
When you make your motion to approve, if you just make the motion with the amendments noted, and then we'll have those corrected.
Perfect. I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes for Planning Commission regular meeting, May 26, 2016, as amended. A
So
second.
moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, say nay. Nope. Motion passes 7-0. Minutes are approved, and that moves us on to election of officers, which I believe staff has a quick statement.
I do. And I apologize that we did have to have the meeting this evening for this item, but the item before you is a selection of the chairman and the vice chairman for the coming year. This is an item that your rules and procedures indicate should be taken care of in April. It was inadvertently missed, and we were unable to get it onto the May agenda, so we wanted to make sure that we got it here on the June agenda. The selection of the chairman and the vice chairman are stated in your rules and procedures. In the rules and procedures, it does indicate that alternate commissioners are not eligible to sit in either of those seats, so I just want to make sure that that's clear. The Rules also indicate that if a chair and a vice chair are nominated to continue to serve, they're limited to 2 consecutive years. So the current chairman and the current vice chair are eligible still to serve 1 additional year if that was one of your choices. And this evening, this selection, we would be recommending that we do by a voice vote. The order in doing the selection is first you take nominations for the chairman. Chairman Lowell would be asked to take in the nominations. You can have multiple nominations. If you do have multiple nominations, the process would first start with the confirmation of the nominee to see if they're in agreement and willing to take on the position. If they are, you go to the next nominee and ask them the same, so that when you do vote on them, that you do have an understanding that the nominees themselves are willing to be in those positions. You would start with the first nominee. You would go through a vote. If a majority vote is achieved on one nominee, you don't have to go to the next. It would basically end at that point. The new chairman becomes immediate, so you would basically pass the gavel to the new chairman, and the new chairman would be asked to go ahead and do the nominees or select the nominations for the vice chair, and then you would follow that same process. So with that, we're here to answer any questions you might have before you start the process. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to the chairman to go ahead and start the process.
Thank you. Now, I do have a question. Because Mr. Rafael Bergueras submitted a speaker slip, is it time to take the speaker slip now, or should we wait to public comments?
Actually, there is, no, this is not a public hearing, so you can take the comments before you go through the nominees. I should have also identified that we did receive an email earlier today from Mr. Gerald, Tom Gerald. Tom Gerald's email printout was provided on your dais, so that was another comment that he wanted to enter into the record. It speaks for itself if you read that, if you have any questions. But I would encourage you to take the public comment first and then go on with the business.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Rafael Bergueras, if you'd like to speak.
Good evening, commissioners, staff, and resident. Tom just made it on time. I was running a little behind because I didn't know if I was going to make it or not. I didn't shave. I didn't have time to do anything. So I was running behind, and I was running behind one of the commissioners. I was just chasing him. I didn't know he was just making the right turns with me. So he thought I was stalking him. But anyway, he came before me, and I came behind him, and I had in me gladness because the room was not empty. There are responsible commissioners here that come every month to do the business of the city. And when you decide to put someone in the chair of the chairman or the vice chair, you're going to put somebody that's responsible to this city, that comes every month to do the business and do it fairly. And numbers can be fixed and lines can be straightened out. You know, we don't have to stop a project because the line went a little that way. We can always fix it and continue with the project. And that's what you have done here since I've been coming. I know there's others that would like to stop everything and nothing gets done for the city. But you have shown courage to do things the right way. But I also am glad to see Ms. Nicholas and Mr. Garcia Gonzalez here every month also to take the place of those that cannot make it that night. That's very important also. So whoever you decide to put there, I know that the city will be safe for another 2 years. And wherever you go in your career, because you know this chambers has been having trouble this month with one of the council members that revealed themselves and did her naughty things to other commissioners, other council members. You know, this woman has been through a lot. But it makes it good to come in here tonight and see something different, something new, and something that's been going on to the city in this upright, righteous way. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys been good. I know you can say no to some projects And I understand that because we like to see the city be beautified, not made out of cement, concrete, things like that. But if we drive down the 91 freeway heading west, look at what they did with our money. They took concrete and made designs out of it. It looks pretty when you go west on the 91. We can do that with some of the buildings that we built here. We can make them a little different, a little prettier, add windows to them. But we rather have jobs, and that's what you have done. And I thank you very much. And whoever you put, I know it would be good for the city.
Thank you, sir. I see you walked in, Tom. Would you like to also speak?
Tom Jelligan speaking on behalf of myself and somewhat for the Sundance Center, where I spent a bit of time in the old part of town there. But chairman and vice chair and commissioners and members of the staff and all the public, all two of us. But first I'd like to say ditto to what Mr. Bougheros had to say. He summed up very well. I sent an email and it speaks for itself. But I did want, if possible, to come down. I sent it just in case we couldn't make it, but I was able to get here. And because something I didn't embody in the email. What I really like, well, I'm a big believer in continuity of government. I think it's very, very important. Candidly, I think it's a very well-functioning body, and I'm glad Mr. Bougheros acknowledged the alternates. I think that was a great initiative, and it's working very well. It's being evidenced tonight. So, and I've seen them both be seated from time to time, and so it's really, really good. It's good government. But the thing I like most of all, treatment of the public. Both, some of them are a little rambunctious, some of them aren't the most polite, some aren't the most well-spoken or perhaps knowledgeable on what they're speaking about, but there's been a great decorum and hospitality and just a nice treatment of people. And that, to me, goes a long way. Because I'll tell you, I'm used to doing this. I've been doing it. I've always had the ability to get up and kibitz with people. Never been innately shy, but a lot of people are. And so when they come and address any body, I mean, it can shake them up, and their knees are knocking. So I like that treatment that you provided to the public, and I just want to thank you as a group. Decision's yours. I don't even know if the chief was endorsing maintain the status quo. I think the direction of the commission has been very good, and said it's been well done. But it's up to you, and whatever you choose, you get a good body of commissioners up there. So I thank you and appreciate letting me speak.
Thanks, Mr. Giro. With that, I'd like to open it up and accept nominations for the chair position.
I would nominate Brian Lowell for continue another year at the chair.
I appreciate it. I'll accept the nomination. Any other seconds on that or any other nominations?
It requires a second, right?
It actually does not.
Oh, it does not? Okay.
Nominations?
I'd like to put a nomination in and a comment. I think you guys have done a great job, but it's also good to bring other people into the mix too. And so I would like to nominate Mr. Sims as chair and Mr. Barnes as vice chair.
Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, so let's vote on.
Can we say something first?
Sure.
I appreciate the thought, but I would prefer not to be chair or vice chair going forward. I had to have some surgery. My health has been a little sketchy, so I'm going to be having to miss 2 or 3 meetings starting next month. And so I appreciate the nod, but I would prefer to recuse myself from that.
In that case, I would like to nominate Commissioner Corsack for vice chair. Get your feet wet, start learning what to do.
We'll approach vice chair when we get there. Let's do the chair first.
Okay. I didn't know if you were doing it on both at the same
Let's do
time.
one. So we just have me since Sims declined. Any other nominations for chair? Okay. All in favor of nominating me for chair, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Okay, passes 6-0 because Ms. Nichol is not entitled to vote on that. Yeah. Perfect. So that makes me the chair again for another year until April. Awesome. And we now move on to the vice chair. Any nominations for vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Jeffrey Barnes for vice chair.
So we have one nomination for Mr. Barnes.
Does that mean you're turning down the nomination for vice
And
chair?
this year.
I would second that motion as well.
Any other nominations?
Well, I won't decline to serve if elected. Thank you.
And I just would like to denote that I'd like to keep, it's the spirit of keeping an engineering type in the vice chair position.
Now, wait a minute.
That was actually what I was trying to avoid.
Jeff, you've tarnished my campaign and I've just started.
Okay, shall we do a campaign?
Okay, so if there's no other nominations, all in favor of voting or nominating Mr. Barnes to be vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passes 6-0 with Ms. Nichols abstaining. So congratulations, Mr. Vice Chair. Let's switch seats.
Thank you, Chairman Lowell. Yeah, I know. You're it. Yeah, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah, we'll switch them. Well, it's still Jeff and Jeff, so it's...
Just put some tape over the second.
Okay, so that moves us on to any other comments or questions for staff before we move to adjournment? Nope. Okay. With that said, our next meeting is, our next planning commission meeting is the regular meeting of July 28th, 2016 at 7 p.m. I'd like to adjourn until that meeting.
If I may, just as you are adjourning, right now, we do not have any agenda items for that meeting, but we are looking at the projects, and hopefully we'll have at least one. If we don't, I'm also considering a presentation just on planning activity. And then the other thing that we would like to do is, it's our understanding that Commissioner Venata will be leaving us in August, and that may be her last meeting, and we do have a small recognition that we'd like to make at that meeting, and I'd like the public to hear that in case we'd like to have some people attend for that purpose. So we look forward to seeing you guys next month, and that's it.
What date is the meeting?
July 28th.
Oh, I definitely am excusing myself from the meeting. I will not.
I believe it's a Thursday.
I understand. I'm having a procedure done on 26th. I'll be out of commission.
Out of commission. The commissioner will be out of
Oh,
commission.
the
That's
commission
good.
will be out of commission.
Perfect. Then I'd like to adjourn until July 28th, 2016 at 7 p.m. Thank you very much. Have a great night.